the modern world, you need new modern leaders, which understand the modern world. What are the most characteristic features of the modern world? Everybody knows. It's really fast communication, fast computing abilities, real interconnection all over the world. And we have a lot of new tools to do business, to lead the societies, designed by the new technologies. They are all good news, but there is no situation where you have only good news. You always have some side effects, or let's say, not so good news. It's better to say not so good news. Basically, a leader has to be able to listen to the people, to understand the people, and to feel the people's needs. And therefore, you know, he has to have a very empathy to everything which is going on in this world. It's not a case to, I just want to be a leader. Because in the schools we are taught, and we are taught in universities, competition. You have to be the best, you have to fight. After every failure you have to stand up and fight again. But when you become a leader, let's say a national leader, you have to forget all these competitions, and you have to follow only moral obligations of your nation.
It seems that the idea was good. Everyone in the surrounding countries are copying the idea. A lot of young people went to the school, and we see that there are at least 10% of them already working in the private sector and public sector, and they have some results, and we're seeing that this is a good message for young people, and also a good message for presidents of the countries to support young people.
A leader is someone who have an instinct for asymmetrical opportunities and who can see value and business opportunities where others can't, who can attract a group of people to follow his goals in order to fulfill what he's been up to, and someone who doesn't look only to what is present, but looks in the future and have vision how the things should develop and what would be beneficial for the future generations.
I find this school interesting, and I guess the participants will gain a lot of experience from the various panelists and exchange in a meaningful debate, like was the case today. Unlike many other workshops that I have seen where you have passive participants, here the discussion was good also with the exchange with the public. So I guess they are, like the school says, so many of them will become prominent young leaders.
Девет генерации на школата ги воведуваме во тајните, вештините, знаењето, практиката на лидерството. Во овие 9 години станавме предпознатлив бренд. Сите овие 9 години создаваме иднина за младите, но и млади за иднината. Имаме брз развој на технологии, на иновации, на знаење, на умење, на вештини, но едно нешто останува да биде чисто човечко. Тоа се вика етика. Етиката не е односот кон самиот себе, етиката е односот кон другите. Етиката секој пат се изразува колку сте одговорни за другите, колку вие водите грижа за тие околу вас, до вас, тие што ве обкружуваат, тие што ви помагаат, родителите што ве израснале, учителите што ве научиле, докторот што ве излечил. Односот кон другите е прашање на етика. успех, посакувам од школава да изгледате радосни и среќни, исполнети со нови знаења, вештини, нови погледи на светот кој толку брзо се менува и веќе не е свет кој се менува, туку живееме во променет свет. Посакувам многу успех, многу радост и многу среќа. Ќе бидам и ја многу среќен кога на последниот ден ќе видам сите насмеани и радосни. Благодарам.
You're not following, you keep on using the group and talking for other people. You will find in leadership, you will be blamed for all the things that go wrong because you don't say I. And people will look at you as a weak leader because it's always their fault or their position.
Macedonians are very interested in getting degrees. They want to have MBAs and certifications. And the challenge is the world today is looking for that experience. And out of the room of 40 people, there were not many who had a lot of real work experience. So one of the messages I said was, go out, even for nonprofit, for a government office, or do something so that you can practice your leadership. The other components that we covered were tips on being an entrepreneur and the challenges that they face, how to look at strategizing and planning properly, how to empower people so that they can perform the best on their job, and overall to show them a new way of thinking, new to them, so that they can perform at the highest level, similar to the way people work around the world.
And a great leader has to know how to manage. You cannot separate them because they have components within them to do management and leadership that we define them. Leadership is get people excited and engaged. Am I the leader of this room or the manager of this room? I don't know what I am in this room. I'm the guy in the front of the room trying to help guide some of you to think differently.
I do think that the organization is making a different attempt. We've been doing leadership for many years, and this program has moved to entrepreneurship. So I think that could have an impact. Has it been growing leadership? I think leadership has always been here. And I think the challenge for any society is to get those leaders to perform. And I know that Macedonia is working hard to see if that can happen.
The leaders are the ones who creates vision, articulates the vision, spice that vision with a little bit of passion, actually engaging themselves, and after an overall completing the vision that they have created.
Well, I have to say at first I was a little bit scared, but now I feel excitement because everyone here is so helpful, so communicative, so smiling. I see smiling faces everywhere. And I'm really grateful for being part of the school.
Most of the leadership principles can be implemented in different fields. So what I try to extract here is how these leadership principles are implemented in different fields and how these principles I can reuse in my field.
I met a lot of friends here, a lot of young leaders. I have some great experience with the teacher here. We learned some great skills and stuff. Which is good to start some business or startup. I learned some great ideas and had a lot of fun.
And what I'm hoping from the group that was here today is that their contribution will be as big and as bold as the ideas that they are capable of producing.
But you express it with your team members, you express it within your colleagues, or maybe your friends or your network or whoever's around you. Be honest about it, and you might be surprised what you can get in return. And then the second part of that claim is create long-term value. To be honest, creating a quick and dirty business where you can quickly spin off, let's say, a few hundreds of thousands of euros or dollars or whatever, it's not that hard. But creating a long-lasting business that creates value for that society.
So the key thing that I wanted to spread today is don't sit and wait, but start doing things. Bootstrap your own experiences, create your own skill set, create your own things that you want to build. Keep on developing and don't think that it's going to be handed to you. Bootstrapping was the key message that I wanted to share.
How do you even engage within certain companies or get funding or whatever? You leverage on your network. Start building your network, start building it now. Just look around within this room. You have, what, 38, 39, 40, 41, let's say 42. 42 people who have different connections, different experiences, different expertise. Connect with them, connect with everybody. It's very important you start that and you start very early.
As always, I'm encouraging them. I'm encouraging them to try, to raise that awareness that doing things and gaining experience is most important. Here on Balkan region, people are kind of afraid to fail, and what we are always telling them is, don't be afraid to fail. This is actually great. In some other parts of the world, nobody would consider you seriously if you didn't fail at least few times before. And here, it is kind of you either succeed or you're gone. So then, because of that, people are kind of afraid to even try. So I think that many of the lectures here are exactly because of that reason, to tell them, look guys, you have ideas, or you are going to find ideas. Let's try, let's do it. And of course, we are going to give you the knowledge, and we are going to give you experience that we learned in our mistakes, which is going to help you. But yeah, of course, they can do it, and they should be inspired and motivated to try.
Basically, until you're big enough to dedicate some resources to the human resources, you are the ones, if you're the owner who is going to deal with all of those very specific issues. And especially remember that the companies are in the beginning. The steps that you make then can influence the future of the company 5 or 10 years ago. And basically, none of us, when we are starting the companies, are not experts in the human resources. So this is why I'm sharing with you some of those things. So they have some basic issues to solve, and they're doing it basically by their heart. Okay. So if you're speaking about human resources, there are a few divisions. Of course, I'm going to tell you one that is very, very simple.
I think it has a very significant strategic importance, and I'm very glad that the president recognized it and that is kind of supporting it. So far, what I've been able to see is that you have a very talented group of people with a huge potential, and somebody recognized that potential, and exactly because of that reason, I think that it's very important to invest in them, to give them knowledge, to give them experience, and to motivate them to do something with them.
To sacrifice in order to move forward for a leadership experience. I promised myself by saying that, it's like a military obligation. You will go there 1 year, but you will receive a lot of experience and learning. Or you will go there like you go to Harvard Business School, correct, for leadership. You will learn leadership. And this is perfect for me because I match my expectation. I say, okay, I will learn leadership by doing. But when you start to impact in second phase others with a new project that you start to initiate, then this is spreading out of your, impact boundaries that you have. With Global Youth Empowerment Fund, now hundreds and hundreds of projects are funded with just an initiative that you took, in 2015, and now that you set up as a second century project. Till 2015, as an organization, we were impacting and supporting our members. And this was a turning point of a perspective saying that let's then support our leaders, local leaders, to initiate their own organizations. So this is like to multiplying yourself, correct? Till that time, you are one organization. But starting from there, now we are multiplying our organizations.
My first message was for them to take action, and that everything starts within themselves. So if we are talking about leadership, so this means they have to take action. And second thing is to grow and raise leaders if they want really to become a leader. So if you are building a new generation of leaders, this means you are becoming a true leader. The third one is to take the ownership of the challenge of the world as well. We talked a bit about global goals 2030. So these challenges are common challenge of all the countries. And we are the generation, they will be the generation that will fulfill or bring solution to this challenge.
And we said, okay, I will go on stage, I'll say hello, I'm Ismail, but my friends may call me Ismail, and I'm candidate to create positive change and make faces to smile, to spread these smiles all around the world. So this was the pitch I had for 10 seconds. And I had the support, because just after this speech, a lot of iSmile hashtags start to go on. We support iSmile, we want to spread iSmile, smiles around. And this was something that started to become viral.
First of all, I congratulate for this initiative, because I believe this is a true and great opportunity for young people. Usually they don't have that chance in a lot of places, so to have this camp or leadership school where they come, share, learn, and grow together.
You will be in business. Actually, I have the feeling even I will be in business, but I might be fading out already. So this is something which we always have to have in our mind when we talk about innovation, but also when we talk about digitalization, is to get a little bit of the feeling how the growth is going to keep pace, because it's getting so fast. And then we have a question of the society. And here my parents entered the game. Not really, but in our mind.
One of the messages might look a little bit simplified, but it's take it easy. Yeah, you might face a lot of problems out there, and if you're facing a problem and you get annoyed by the problem and you think you never can solve this, yeah, then let's take it easy and say to yourself, you adapted to this problem because somebody thought you can solve it. Trust in this somebody, because he has a good reason why he put you on the problem. And by that, you get the self-confidence to solve the problem.
In the ranking of the greatest innovations in mankind, which I told you before, which was fire, language, trade, there was also digital products, where you use digitalization. And it was, I give you the answer, only on the 33rd place, and it was the transistor. And here it's getting technical, because the transistor is the mother of digitalization.
My lecture is unconventional in terms of that I don't present something and afterwards there's a Q&A. My presentation goes more in the way that it's an active question and answer all the time. And the participation this year was very good. So the students are, I would say, the 2.0 version of students, like students should be, active and not like the traditional students sitting before a professor and waiting to get taught. They are even asking to be taught. They are requiring answers and questions.
I have great impressions. I do believe that this is an amazing opportunity for the participants here, because here we can grow and develop as well as professional life and our personal life.
If you observe body language, you will see true emotion of other people, also on your place. So, from one side, be careful not to practice these gestures, but also observe other people. On the breaks now, if someone said to you, yesterday I was with the president, I said to him, it doesn't mean that it is true. Probably he is lying if he cover his mouth, catch his nose, he is not sure for something. And it's up to you. Just observe. Don't tell him, you are a liar, I catch you. But be careful in communication, because maybe he will lie to you something else which is very important for you.
is something going on in the middle of our process of perception. So I went to read and to study a bit about this stuff. And the truth is that we really perceive as the monkeys. Right now, your senses perceived everything that is here. You know how many persons there are, all the details of everything around you. But our mental capacity focuses and pays attention into something that you consider relevant, for example. Okay? So when you focus on that, you discard all the rest. But the truth is that the perception, so your brain perceived everything. Perceived everything. Temperature, feelings, everything is there. Now, that part where the perception is a part where there's not much language. Some people call it the subconscious. It's just part of what you perceived. It's so fast that the connections between these parts of the brain are basically at the speed of light. It's electricity, right? And it is basically, if it is at the speed of light, basically there's no time. The 21st century is basically about connecting who we really are as individuals and recognizing the interconnectedness between others, so people, right? But the environment as well. I believe that anyone that works and acts towards achieving that, right? Authenticity as an individual, realization of interconnectedness, are going to be successful, considered successful entrepreneurs. Now, what happens if we remember an amazing memory? We were maybe in the beach, I don't know, in the Caribbean, everybody naked, swimming, and happy, and I'm today in the freaking office. Right? So even if it is a happy memory of the past, it is always going to be compared with the present moment. And normally, if it is a positive thing, it's going to make our current moment as worse. And sometimes when we feel or remember something negative of the past, we don't even compare it with, it's negative. And we feel bad. So a mental projection to the past only brings a sense of depression. Always. Little. Whatever you want. But if you are constantly going to the past, believe me, that's what you are going to find. If you know someone that is experiencing certain level of depression, you will see that their conversation, their language is very much about the past. What they made to me, how I suffered, how they treated me, etc., etc. I consider myself a successful entrepreneur. And it's not because I have money, because I don't have a lot of money, but it is because I found myself through the actions I do.
I'm very delighted to be here. This week so far has been an amazing experience for me. A lot of interaction, new friendships, positive energy. The organization is great, it's perfect. The people, the venue, we are here in Izgrev, in Struga, having a great time with the participants coming from all around the globe, sharing some business, professional values, new cultures, and of course everything in order just to get some new professional skills.
Well, entrepreneurship is living a few years like other people want, so you can spend the rest of your life like other people can't, because it takes a lot of sacrifice. If you open your own company, you definitely need to put all your effort in it. It is like having a baby. The first 3 years, you need to dedicate maximum. You need to take care of it 24/7 in order to be sustainable.
Lessons learned at the School for Young Leaders are applicable to the real life, and this is the most important. However, another, maybe just a little less important characteristic of the School of Young Leaders is the fact that the networks here, created here, as well as the friendships, last a lifetime. And this is noteworthy of saying because of the fact that new ideas are generated, people are stimulated, and basically what the School for Young Leaders does is pave the road for young leaders tomorrow.
Well, there's a new leadership coming, right? And we can feel it in the comments and the conversations of the participants at the workshop. They are bored of the traditional and old style, and they want to create something new. That's leadership, right? And that makes me feel, as I said before, very enthusiastic.
The people now, the millennials and the generations after the millennials, they were born in a world which is tech first. They think as tech as the most important thing. And from there on only, they think of other things which are important to keep this world spinning around. I'm quite sure that millennials, especially because it seems that millennials all want to make a real impact in the world, that there's these great generations coming up which will make this world a better place.
Top 10 startup mistakes. What is number 1? Building something nobody wants. Very simple. You know, team cannot be good. There's loads of things that cannot be good. Let's see, spending too much money. There's not that many startups who do that, but hey, it can happen. Failing to ask for help, ignoring social media, not having the right co-founders, lack of focus, very important one. But number 1, building a product nobody is waiting for. They will not buy it. It doesn't solve a pain point. Cool. Again, please remember this one.
I find it an amazing initiative that a country really supports their younger generation. I also see that there is usually a disconnect between older generation leaders on the one hand and then the younger leaders. And I believe in working together, but also attracting best practices from other countries in order to empower a whole new generation of young leaders in your country. If I look at your program, I think it's a program which is well balanced and offers the students a good mix of experiences, of expertise from people out there in the field actually doing it. So I have to congratulate your president on running a program like this.
Reactive way of thinking is when the personality or the person doesn't take responsibility for their failures or their successes. Well, for successes, everybody says, well, I have done that and I'm proud of that. But when the difficult moments come, then people usually tend to say, well, I did it because the light was not good, because there was not electricity, because the food was not good, because of somebody else or somebody else. Well, a true leader is not somebody who will use these answers as excuses for their failures. Leaders, they take responsibility for their successes, but also for their failures. And at the end, failing is not so fatal. Failing is not so, at the end, failing is, it's about the way how you understand failure. Failure is just a proof that you have tried. You have tried, you haven't succeeded because you have, maybe at that moment you haven't had the right skill or you haven't had the right communication within the team. But at the end, if you learn the lessons, if you learn from the mistakes and you try again, then it's, well, the success is there. You will eventually succeed because everybody who has been going through this path of development, they have been trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing, and at the end they succeed. Yes, definitely. I believe that this is one of the best examples how the country can contribute to young people in a way of developing of their skills and capabilities. And this is definitely something what this country, Republic of Macedonia, needs. We need young people to get space for showing their skills and talents. Being a good listener means that you understand the needs. You show empathy to the needs of the customer you serve. And you dare to discuss every point very openly and very directly without avoiding that. Once you start avoiding a certain thing in the communication, then it means that you're not able to face the challenge, or you're not prepared. Be the change you want to see around. So lead by example and be the role model for other people around you.
Well, I think that they're definitely changing the new young leaders because they're learning here how to self-leader, which is very important, and I think it's lacking in the general education or general experiences in their life, and then how to be leaders of small groups or in their communities or, you know, even their countries in the future.
So there is always a way. If you decide, you have to be quick, you have to be smart, you have to go to lesson 1, use your brain, you will find a way. It doesn't matter that you don't even know the language. Now, for big success, you're not enough, but for great success, you need a team. The second lesson that I learned in Israel is team. I know that we all like the ego and the vanity and we are the best and my identity, me in the center of attention. You will do nothing in life if you don't have the support of a team.
Well, this year I talked about failure again. So I would like them to learn how to embrace failure, but on the other hand, I want them to be full of hope, never to despair, even when they fail, and to know that tomorrow will bring more for them because they're the generation that will build the new world.
This school gives us motivation to the young leaders of the Republic of Macedonia to make changes. It inspires us and proves us that the good quality will stay recognized and appreciated, and it gives us chance that the investment in ourselves will be worth it in the future.
That's the future of our, not just company, of our country, the future of the business in generally. Inventive people which is they can put more energy into the creating a new type of the product which will be according to the regulation of the whole new way of lifestyle, according to the global warming and according to the total environment what's happening. It's a future of our country, of the earth in general, and especially for Confi Angel. That's why we're not participating, supporting a project like this only for the sake of supporting it. We deeply believe that the product what is come out of the school, it will be always very helpful for the companies like Confi Angel and other companies in Macedonia. The main reason why as a company we've been right from the beginning supporting the president idea of the School of the Leadership issues that we have approved And we are standing by the president idea and by the total school in general. We are together for the last 9 years, and every year we are participating in different way. For example, almost every year I was a speaker myself, but this year I have suggested together with the president we can invite the participant, the young leadership, to come visit some of the companies where they can be able to see the energy of the company and to learn practically about how you build an institution. That's the companies.
What most impresses me is the diversity of successful and ambitious people with different backgrounds who are sharing the same persistence and vision, which will help us manage global challenges, which will positively impact other people's lives.
One thing may be a success to somebody and may not be a success to somebody else. So basically you have to, or the students at the school, they need to define what they want to do and what they want to get out of life. And if they achieve that, then that's a success. Presented the students with what we do and how we do it, basically what are our principles of how we work. And I hope the idea, the message that they got is that they shouldn't have any restraints when they follow their future paths, because we're a small company coming from a small country and we've managed to establish ourselves and build a brand across the world. So there is basically no restraint. If they believe in their knowledge, if they believe in themselves and what they do, then the world is their oyster, as they say in English.
For me, entrepreneurship is art of generating innovative ideas that, if properly funded, generates profit.
The three characteristics that any leader should have, according to me, are ability to inspire others, to be ethic, and to be passionate.
I think that having this kind of seminars, let's say, which I think is more than seminar because this is real school, is really important for the country, every country in the world, especially for the tiny country like Macedonia. Leadership is something which everyone in us is possessing somehow. So it's a hard work, first of all. It's a honest work, first of all. Taking care for, let's say, people around you, business around you. Not waiting for somebody to tell you what to do. And one of the things which I'm very proud to say that leaders easy you can recognize because they're not chosen by themselves, they're chosen by the group.
Well, what I like so far the most from this school is that it offers knowledge to the basic concepts of our modern time, and that it equips the future leaders of our time with the tools, with the necessary tools to be able to tackle all the challenges of our time.
Well, I'm impressed by the chance that we have here to meet all successful people and to have chances to communicate to each other and to motivate ourselves for a better tomorrow.
Keep them engaged.
don't lose your motivation and be curious for the future. The more you invest on yourself, the better will be for the society for the future.
Yes, you have to respect with the family. It means that you share some mental models that lead your sense-making processes, and therefore when you frame the reality, you immediately have schemata that fits with the new environment. Where was the one who changed the environment? He was. So when the environment changes, you have shared models, and you have shared models, but with the other members. So it's term of decision-making processes, you have a more efficient context for taking decisions.
Wow, I'm completely impressed. I never thought that there could be such an important and interesting initiative. I know that there were a lot of former initiatives like this, but not with such an emotional involvement of people being here.
I believe President Ivanov's initiation for the school will actually help them representing them online, and I think this school is going to live forever.
User-generated content means people are writing something about your business, about the news you're spreading. If they are not happy, they're complaining. If they're happy, they're giving you good word. So the feedback the social media gives you about any business or any governmental institution cannot be found in conventional media. In Cyprus, we don't have any conventional media now. How is it in Macedonia? You still have some. So people are reading newspapers, the older generation, I assume, but us here will not be reading any conventional media. I don't know if we have any journalists here who would like to kill me, but that is the case. Conventional media is moving to the digital. Even the newspapers are moving to the digital. So if you're a journalist, then you should learn how to be an internet journalist. If you're a salesperson, you should learn how to do social media sales. If you are a marketing person, you should learn social media marketing. If you are doing academy, then you should learn how to convey information on social media.
You don't get to find these initiatives in many countries. It actually shows how much President is valuing the youth and how much education is important for the young generations, because they're going to be the future leaders, and we need this background of well-educated people in order to work for the future of a country.
But actually still digitalization is very important and has a huge aspect to grow, but still I have to say the human touch is really important, and it's what we have in Turkey, what we have in Macedonia. It's quite similar, and it really is about touching people's hearts, not only leading a bunch of people, it's touching and feeling them. So leadership, in my opinion, is like that.
How can I really survive in that different cultures as a general manager? This is the main idea. So the very first thing, when I go to a different station, I just watch and observe what is going on, how people do the work over there. Because the right in Helsinki might be very wrong in Skopje. Something that is considered as the most polite thing in Helsinki, in Copenhagen, can be considered very rude over here. So just you need to watch and observe all these kind of different aspects. And then integration is also quite important, because you need to go to you need to do what people are doing. You need to use public transport. You need to learn people's behavior patterns. Otherwise, it will be so challenging afterwards if you just say that, oh, I'm Turkish, I do this in my own way, but I'm living here. Okay, it doesn't work. In practice, it definitely never ever works. And also, in the end, being a part of your team is really, really important. Having an open mind, being creative, they're also very important aspects.
It's really huge success, and Macedonia, as we all know, has a huge option to develop. There are many areas to be developed. It's a great pleasure to see all of them will participate tomorrow's developed world for Macedonia, and they will be here bringing their know-hows and applying to our daily life. So it will be a great pleasure.
This type of very critical but simple messages has to be there for the perception of any institution. Again, either you're a professional or an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter. You have to have a team, and your team should have a clear, guided, simple targets. A lot of companies, I don't know where you're all coming from, but at the end of it, there is always a challenge of, clear target versus transparency.
The English schools just give to find your strengths in the life, to solve the problems, make the business plans, to do group works with your group mates.
So far for me it's very big experience, because each day we have lectures from all over the world, and for me when they come to us they give their knowledge and experience. So for me this is very useful, and I will use it in my business.
This school was a great opportunity for me to learn and hear more about the leadership and the entrepreneurship, and also to meet great young, ambitious future leaders.
In my opinion, this School of Young Leaders is probably the most noble and patriotic project here in Macedonia. Basically, by investing in young people, the school invests in the future of our country.
First of all, a leader should be honest, should have the ability to guide the people in the right direction, and the main characteristic is to have integrity.
The most important characteristic of an entrepreneur is for him not to be afraid of failures. He has to be risk averse. He has to be willing to learn from his failures, and he has to have strong drive to succeed.
Producing a product and producing a brand are different things. The difference is, if you focus on the product and service, you are an entrepreneur. If you focus on the brand too, you are a smart entrepreneur. Because why? You can make money 2 times from the same business. You sell kebab and make money, and then you start selling your brand and make money, isn't it? In 2010, the former US President Obama made a big initiative and launched the Global Entrepreneurship Summit in Washington, D.C. And he declared that 21st century would be the century of entrepreneurs. Why shall I take the risk of trying a new one? I see your advertisement, I go to other one. So what do? You spend your money to sell his coffee and to increase his revenue. You cannot sell and his revenue will increase. This is the case, isn't it? Why? Because you are an entrepreneur. But if you would be a smart entrepreneur, and if you would understand that customer is the most intelligent one, then you wouldn't sell your coffee as you did. You would give the commercials as, hey, this is coffee, it is coffee. But if you drink my coffee, it is also $1, by the way, you will dream very nice at the weekend. You will hear better. You will be more intelligent in the next 3 days. I don't know. Something new you are presenting. You are now addressing to subconscious of this customer that claiming that both are $1, but you will find something new here. This is better. When we look at the big picture in the world, we see that entrepreneurial ideas come from young people. And Google, Facebook, or YouTube, Twitter, whatever you check, now the unicorns, most unicorns are coming from young people. President Ivanov's this vision is very important. He is investing in the future of the world, not only of Macedonia, because we have also participants from other countries, by providing a great opportunity for them to get in contact with the world leaders of innovation, entrepreneurship, and creative thinking. So I think this school is a really unique school which is initiated and also governed by a president of a country.
Biggest way to turn potential into success is to do things and gain experience. There's no book for anything like that. There's many ways to learn, and as long as they stay genuinely interested and curious about things and people, they'll get ahead and meet any challenge.
Having good arguments is important because that comes in different places, but usually it's a lot of these things that we are not really good at. We don't learn it, we don't practice it, listening to people, reading emotions, understanding other people's perspective, or especially the last two. I mean, how many times have you heard criticism of a policy, but you don't like the criticism, it's because, that person supports the other party, right? You don't like the policy because it's supported from the other party, but if one of your guys says it, then yeah, it's cool. Okay, so separating these issues is also a problem. These are two powerful barriers to getting you through sales and negotiation because they block you into options.
I was actually quite positively impressed. They were very interactive. They were paying attention. A lot of them have good private experience, so we try to integrate that into the lesson. So I'm hoping that this was a very good and productive lecture for the students, so they seem to be quite into what we were just discussing.
It's the very unique and the brightest thought, and I believe that that's the best way how that the young people can learn from the experience and from the practitioners actually who are in the business and in the leadership position. So I always welcome the idea of informal education is more than a formal one.
Pursuing of excellence is the only thing that you need, so how you will start a good and successful businesses. And remember, if you start chasing money, so there is no certain route so you can get. Yes, you can earn money, but it will be for short term. And you want to be endurant, and you want to be recognized by your brand for what you are thinking that you are good at it, and what you like that other people knows you by it. So that's the only way, and that's the only process how you will succeed.
I'm very sincerely happy that I'm here as an Azerbaijani, and I'm really glad that we had that space to network with different people with different background, and I could just discover Macedonia and its diversity, and also found out similarities with Azerbaijan too.
So far, I've had such an excellent time. I've learned so much, and given my work with the diaspora, I'm so excited to go home to Toronto and just apply everything that I've learned.
Yes, so for sure. We are already making plans for the further steps and actions, so stay tuned and you will see what this group of young leaders can do.
They need to be, they need to have, to be more creative. They need to have integrity and to have innovations.
Every entrepreneur should be well calculated but prepared to take risks when it comes to it, embrace failure and learn how to reframe them in order to achieve the wanted success, and know how and to whom to delegate certain tasks.
In my opinion, leader is someone who has a vision, inspiration, and who motivates other people to learn more, to do more, and to dream more.
Leadership is a state of mind. It's having a common goal with a group of people, being able to manage them, to inspire them, to lead them, and accomplish something good.
I really feel so blessed to be part of this school, and especially when it is organized by the president of Macedonia. We had a chance here to meet so many new friends, new talents, and it's mean that we have expand our network here inside and outside of Macedonia.
This school has perfectly organized agenda, fulfilled with an inspiring professors with a lot of knowledge, experience and positive energy. Also, this school gives us opportunity to meet new people, to make new friendships, to learn new things. So coming here this summer was a very good idea.
There is only one thing that is more powerful than a single leader with individual mission, and that thing is a group of leaders who are committed to make changes in the countries they live and make their countries a better place for living.
As we are in the last days of the school, I already feel very empowered, energetic and motivated because we have learned a lot of new information, gathered new things from the school within these 10 days, and I cannot wait to go back into my everyday business and to apply this new knowledge.
Well, people think it's about inspiration, but it's just work. So break the thing down into pieces. Don't be overwhelmed by the prospect of making a great pitch. Just think, how am I going to open this thing? What's the big messages that I want to tell? What's the call to action? And break that pitch into pieces that you can actually work on instead of just telling yourself, I'm going to make a great pitch. Work on the pieces of that pitch and do a great job in preparation.
Because what most people do is they think it through and write it down. That's called make the slides. Okay? And they work on PowerPoint and they create slides and then present. But my advice to you is to do what you've just done. Say it out loud. As soon as you start saying it out loud, you find out that sometimes what you write down is not really what you would say. And what you would say might be a bit different to what you write down. Written language is formal. Spoken language is more human. It's a bit more interactive.
Well, I'm all about pitching and sharing your idea in a short, sharp pitch. You know, nobody has more time. Nobody wants things more complex. So a short, clear pitch with the headlines of what you're working on and the problem you're solving can really grab people's attention. And so we've been doing some exercises, putting some things into practice to make that happen.
Take your moment. Tell a bit less. Cut some content out. You're better to tell a few great things in less time than to try and jam as much content in as possible. Shorter pitches are always better. Okay, now here's the second tool, how to open powerfully. Make the first word count. You see, the opening of the pitch, the first 20 seconds, buys you attention. And if you don't capture people's attention in those first 20 seconds, the chance that they will listen to the rest is really small. And that's because people have got two questions in their minds. Is this person professional? And do I want or need to know more?
Absolutely essential. The future of business and the future of employment is going to be very different from when I grew up. And these are one of the ways that you can start to prepare young people for that future.
All countries, companies, you have three kinds of assets. Physical asset, intellectual asset, and social asset. Starting from the last one, social asset is this. Networking, friendship. This is social, very important. Whom do you know? Social asset. Intellectual asset is the people issues, again you. Your brains, your business model, your patents. This is very important. Physical asset is your car, is your houses, is your cash in the bank. Physical asset of Tau is zero. My car is Mercedes, Maybach. It doesn't belong to us, it's rented. Even our cars are rented. All the buildings that we are operating will transfer to the government because they are privatization projects. Okay? Our physical asset is zero, but our valuation is $2.3 billion. So it is our intellectual asset.
21st century leadership is totally different. As I told in my lecture, I mean, the first, second, third industrial revolutions are still continuing, but the fourth one is coming. It's a very fast one, the digitalization. So all the leaders must have capability to adapt to the new rules of digitalization and globalization, because there's a different kind of economy now, different kind of business model. So this difference is giving hard times to old school leaders. So all the leaders must adapt to this new era.
But the main challenge is, as I tell you, human resources. because they are your friends, they are your team, they have to be the best. We had a professor in the past, he was saying that if you are a first-class man, you don't have any problem because you don't afraid, you work with first-class guys. And they work with first-class guys, and they work with first-class guys. So all the team becomes first-class. But if you, as a leader, is a second-class guy, then you're afraid and you work with third-class guys, and they work with fourth-class guys, and all the team is bad. So human resources has always been the big challenge. I mean, that's why I'm coming here. I mean, because you are the future of the world. You are all from different countries. You'll work for your country, but you'll work for the world. Education is very important. And education does not mean the name of the university you graduated or the name of the faculty you graduated. I mean, you are graduating from a university when you were 18 to 20 years old, when you were very young, okay? And then for 40 years of your business life, you talk about that university.
It takes a lot of vision. I really want to laud the president, Ivanov. He sees that the youth are the future. He also has raised the bar in terms of expectation. You know, Macedonia doesn't have to be passive, but it needs to be proactive in its future creation. And so investing in young entrepreneurs and putting them together with entrepreneurs from the region and around the world, I just think it's really insightful and visionary.
Why is it that when we address social problems, we turn off our brain and we open our heart? You see, I was a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley, and I would get the best capital, I get the best talent, I get the best technology to create companies to change the world, because we know having the newest version of your phone is more important than global warming. Okay, what happens when you want to address extreme poverty? You don't look for capital, you look for donations. You don't look for the top talent, you take volunteers. And you get secondhand computers. What's wrong with that equation? There's something wrong with that. In fact, I go to great institutions like INSEAD in France or Stanford University or anywhere in the world, and I would talk about what I do, and inevitably a student would go, oh my God, that's so amazing. You know, when I graduate, if I can't get a job at Goldman Sachs or Apple, I'd love to come work with you. I'm like, what the hell? Why would I want you? If Goldman Sachs and Apple, you see, the presumption is you're just doing like change the world stuff that's not as important as Goldman Sachs. Unless we change that paradigm, we're never going to change the way that the world's designed.
I was really straightforward and kind of transparent with them that I am not a trained investor. I'm not a trained entrepreneur. I learned as I went along, and I was willing to make mistakes. I was willing to try and get smarter every week. And I think for them, it's like, oh, okay, it's not like someone who was born into this. They could see the journey is a matter of taking one step at a time. And I hope that gives them some inspiration that the thing that they're dreaming of doing right now is possible.
Почнете полека да ги добивате сите оние најважни пораки за кои се уште не сте свесни, но ќе ви користат во животот. Затоа што оваа интензивна обука, 10 дена, слушнавте различни искуства, различни погледи, различни видувања на светот, на различни области од животот, од бизнисот, од науката, од сите области на човековото живење. И ќе видите колку тоа ќе ви користи во вашиот живот. Да одите малку на повисоко ниво и да сте горди дека сте дел од една група на млади луѓе кои стекнале знаење и вештини кои не се добиваат тек така и не можете секаде да ги добиете. Школата пред се има за цел да ви ја поттикне вашата самодоверба. Да бидете луѓе кои веруваат во себе, ако верувате во себе, тогаш се е можно.
Животот е танц. Ние одлучуваме дали ние ќе танцуваме со животот или животот ќе танцува со нас. Ви благодарам на сите и на професори и организација, а посебно вам председателе, што не научивте на основните чекори на танцот, па сега останува на нас. Благодарам.
Стекнатите знаења, искуства што ги добивме од вас, верувам дека ќе бидат од огромна корист за мене и за мојата околина во иднина.
It was pleasure for us and for me to be part of this school. In this school we have learned a lot of things, how to be a leader, how to be successful in our life. I think that now is time to start it. Thank you.
Now I understand that leadership is a way of life. So if you want to be a leader, you need to implement the set of skills, and it's not a 9-to-5 job that you go and do during your life. You need to be 24/7, and you need to we understood the principles here, and I think that all these principles can be implemented in the area that I work.
This experience is for me life-changing because I met a lot of people with successful careers. We learned from each other, we learned from the speakers, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to be part of the school.
I'm very grateful to having this life-changing experience, and as you said in your speech before, now as we learn to drive, we will drive towards the success. Thank you.
Се надевам и убеден сум во тоа дека знаењето и искуството со кое се имам стекнато тоа школа за млади лидери ќе ми биде од огромна корист во мојот професионален и академски живот во иднина. Ви благодарам многу.
Впечатоците од меѓународната школа за млади лидери одат од позитивни до екстремно позитивни. И тоа ја вклучува организацијата, предавачите и можностите за нетворкинг кои ни ги овозможи оваа школа за млади лидери. На крајот само би сакал да ја сумирам сите тие впечатоци со тоа што ќе речам да продолжиме да правиме големи работи за нас и за нашата Македонија.
Поминавме прекрасен период заедно, успеавме да промениме многу искуства, знаења, кои што се надевам дека ќе ги искористиме понатака во текот на нашата кариера.
Школата како школа е еден визионерски подвиг кој што секако ќе ни служи како добра основа за континуиран прогрес во нашиот живот. Уште еднаш благодарам на довербата и сигурен сум дека нема да ве разочараме.
Многу сум благодарна што ги запознав овие прекрасни луѓе овде што ќе и за нетворкот кој го создадовме, што во иднина ќе имаме можности да соработуваме на академски, бизнеси и приватен план. Многу ви благодарам.
Имав многу високи очекувања за школата, кои што навистина се надминати. Не само што стекнав многу знаења, меѓутоа стекнав и многу пријателства и сигурна сум дека понатаму ќе продолжиме да остваруваме нови цели и ќе презиваме нови акции за подобро општество и подобра Македонија.
Јас се надевам дека во најблиски иднина заедно со сите овие луѓе ќе направиме напори за да го подобриме нашиот начин на живот на подобро во Македонија. Благодарам.
Leadership is all about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that that impact lasts in your absence. Thank you, Mr. President, for showing us leadership in practice.
I would like to quote one of our lecturers to sum up everything that we've learned so far, and it's leadership is a journey, not a final destination. Thank you.
Чест ми беше да бидам дел од оваа школа. Јас пред да дојдам во школата, мислев дека лидерството е врзано само со политиката, ама научив дека лидерството е врзано со промените што ние ги правиме во општеството.
Изминативе 2 недели како беа инспирација за нас и за тоа ви благодариме на вас, почитуван председателе. Сега е наша должност и обврска да продолжиме напред и да оправдаме довербата која што ни ја дадовте.
Thanks to his selfless initiative, I have restored my faith in myself. I now leave this school full of knowledge in mind, skills in hand, and friends close to my heart.
Сакам да изразам неизмерна благодарност за вашата безусловна и несебична поддршка и шансата што ни овозможивте да бидеме дел од оваа обука. Ви ветуваме дека заминуваме тука охрабрени и мотивирани за големи цели, кои што ќе ја направат горда Македонија.
Навистина беше едно одлично искуство, кое сум сигурна дека ќе има голем допринос во мојот живот понатака.
Стекнатите искуства и знаења ќе ми продолжат и ќе ми дадат мотивација за понатамошната моја кариера.
Искрено се надевам дека еден ден во животот ќе имам прилика или шанса и јас да дадам ваква животна прилика некому.
На ова школа запознав прекрасни луѓе, големи луѓе пред се и искрено се надевам дека ќе останат дел од мојот живот и понатака. Ви благодарам на сите.
Почитувам председателе, од срце ви сакам тоа ви се заблагодарам за укажаната чест. Од тука си одиме многу мотивирани, полни со нови пријателства и се надеваме за нови успеси.
I came to this school with lots of expectation and still got my mind blown. I met lots of beautiful souls, made so many friends. This was maybe one of the best experiences in my life. Thank you.
Here I met a lot of friends, a lot of people, a lot of smart brains. Also, I learned a lot of things and skills which I hope that I'm going to use it in the future and be successful. Thanks for everything.
During the lectures, we have learned that the true leader is someone who creates other leaders among his career, and I think that all the participants agree with me that you are one of the great examples for this quote, because you are supporting now for 9 years this school of young leaders who is producing leaders from from Macedonia and from other countries who come here to gain new knowledge and new information.
It was a great honor to be part of this school, so I would say keep your heads up and keep moving forward.
Овие 2 недели бе едно прекрасно искуство за мене, кои што ќе имаат големо значење за мојот професионален живот и што е најважно, за мојот приватен, бидејќи создадов пријателство што ќе траат цел живот.
Thank you for this opportunity. It was a great pleasure to be here. Dear young leaders, we are waiting you in our land of fire in the Azerbaijan. Good luck.
We've discovered not only knowledge, experience, networking, but also diversity in Macedonian culture and also similarities between Azerbaijan and Macedonia. Thank you.
I would like to thank you for this opportunity that you create for your use and for international use. And I want to say thanks to organizers because they did a very great job. And I'm very impressed with your country. I think that I will come back again.
Всичко беше прекрасно. Благодаря ви за възможността, че имах това удоволствие да бъда тук. Научих много неща и ще ги използвам в бизнеса и напред.
Верувам дека стекнатите знаења и искуства во последните 10 денови сите ние ќе ги искористиме за една подобра иднина и за една подобра Македонија.
This experience was a life-change experience for me. Thank you for this opportunity to be here, and I'm leaving this school with a totally changed mindset. Thank you.
No matter what the circumstances, what the environment we're now in, but be confident. Rise up and shine. Make glory to Macedonia.
I just wanted to thank everybody for making this experience so special. Coming from Canada, a member of the Macedonian diaspora, I have no words for, just how great this program was. It really means a lot to have participated, and just thank you.